my name is Megan Henwood, as you've already shown. I have been in Oxford for about 10 years now, and I sort of do my own solo artist releases and stuff, but I also write for a lot of other people and other projects, and have been involved in lots of different things. I've been a self-employed musician for a really scary amount of time now. I think about 13 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of been enough time now for me to have seen how the music industry is changing and stuff, which has
Right.
been interesting.
Yeah.
I guess there's like a basis of acoustic element to most of what I've released. I mainly play acoustic guitar, but I do kind of play electric and add sort of, especially in the more recent stuff, added like kind of more experimental sounds and more electronic stuff. And I guess it's kind of lyric heavy, story heavy stuff. The lyrics sort of
Love it. Yeah.
like core element for me. So I suppose I hope that people can sort of take a lyric or a kind of concept and interpret it in their own way and sort of connect with that in a positive way.
Yeah.
A lot of my stuff is quite dark, so there's not much sort of positive. There is positivity in it, but
I was just about to say, yeah. It can, like, anything dark can be actually positive. It's just being very raw and truthful.
yeah, exactly. I think honesty is and integrity is something that I strive for, and I also look for in artists that I engage with. A lot from the kind of natural world, and I mean, even in the natural world, there's sort of the dark and light of sort of growth and decay and all that kind of stuff that I get quite into. Yeah, personal experiences and other people around me, and I'm always kind of on the lookout for stories that resonate. And I think with my solo work, like I say, I want to be honest, and I want it to. I want to be able to connect with it because I don't want to kind of be disingenuous with what I'm performing or what I'm playing. So a lot of that is more personal, but I really enjoy sort of taking other stories. And so I think I always try from the offset of sort of arriving at the venue or wherever I'm playing to like bring a positive energy if I can. Sometimes I go in a little bit sort of hard off the bat with that. But I think it's really important to kind of immediately make everyone involved, like the sound engineer, the venue staff, but everyone involved, to sort of know that I really respect them, and there's no like hierarchy, because we all have to work as a team in order for something to happen, and I think that's sort of my main like goal from the offset. That you know how sometimes a sort of food or a song or something will really remind you of a sort of time or a space. It's like green rose. It's rose green tea or something.
Oh.
I like discovered it on a tour that I was on maybe like 5 years ago, and I basically drank it on every tour, like
wow,
having a flask of it and a little jar of the leaves.
Yeah.
And I think there's something about that helps me sort of get into my headspace.
Yeah.
There's just something like about sort of having that kind of space.
Yeah.
And taking that moment and just being calm and knowing that everyone out there, however, many there are or not many there are, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They all come and they want you to do well, and it's a shared experience.
Exactly.
They've given up their time to do it, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
And still like can't quite get my head around it a lot of the time. And I think like Young Women's is a really good example of how many people are involved in the process of not just like live gigs and stuff, but the creative process, the releasing, like all of it.
Yeah.
And if there's a good sort of flow of energy and respect and calmness in everyone, then
Mhm.
you know it's like elements of a machine. You know, you have to have that, and it's
Yeah.
not all about one person.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So during lockdown, um, I found that I was able to write a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I'd have, because my partner was furloughed, so
Mm.
I was sort of able to have a bit more of a creative space to
Mhm.
work in that you know, that I hadn't expected. So it kind of took the
Right.
pressure off a little bit. I think a lot of other
Mm.
creative people found lockdown or really frightening, because
Yeah.
like I was lucky because I had maternity leave, so I
Right.
didn't think I'd be working
Right.
that time. Um, but there was a lot of pressure to like create, and you know,
Yeah.
try and use this time, and
Right.
that
Right.
often can be not very conducive to actually making stuff that's really
Right.
good. So I think I was really lucky that I had the ability to do that because of Joe being home, but also I didn't put any pressure on myself, which is like
Right.
not normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wrote quite a lot, including a song called Doors that I kind of wrote and produced at home on, you know, I've got like, I'm lucky to have a good small home studio, but not, you know, it's not like all song and dance and
Yeah.
making equipment. And I work with some other amazing musicians, and we have really good dialogue and communication in terms of, I had quite a like clear, like, you know, I felt like I wasn't just producing, I was sort of project managing the whole thing.
Mm.
And I just sort of, it felt like a really nice process.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting like multiple plays on Radio 2 and a couple of plays on Six Music.
Amazing.
Kind of never really, I think nothing that I've produced from home has
Right.
ever like done so well, I guess. And
Right.
it's small goals, but
Mhm.
felt like a really, I was
Big-
proud of myself.
Yeah. And as you should be. Absolutely. The fact that you can, during this global pandemic and, being a new mom, create something and, you know, power through it during a lockdown, which came all of a sudden. Of course you should be proud of it. I mean, this is something that I totally relate to. During lockdown, a lot of musicians, a lot of creatives such as myself found it so hard to and a lot of pressure to not do something or not be creative. But the fact that you managed to do that, and out of something so difficult at the time, of course you should be proud. I mean, this is an incredible achievement.
There's a global, it's like sci-fi out here right now. It's not, it's a lot to process for everyone,
Yeah.
especially if you're creative, because you process things in a much more like tree branchy kind of way.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's probably a case of in a year's time or something, and obviously it's still going to be crazy then as well.
Right.
But I think people will sort of, I think you shouldn't underestimate what's going on in your creative subconscious
Yeah.
mind, and what's
Absolutely.
storing up and stuff to,
Yeah.
I guess, practice experimenting more, because that's a kind of liberating thing. That's something that I'm still very much learning to be
Yeah.
able to do,
Yeah.
and it kind of goes hand in hand with not caring about the surface level.
Mm.
You know, what people think, where does this music that I'm like creating fit into,
Right.
because that's just so limiting and stifling. And you know, it's often the nature of the industry, the business.
Mhm. Mhm.
But but what's the point in going into music, you know, and it's tough on lots of levels.
Yeah.
So what's the point in doing it if you don't connect and enjoy it? Because then
Mhm.
there's just, it has to work for you, and it has to feel right for you. And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that 5 years, 10 years down the line, you're going to look back and, you know, feel like excited by it necessarily, or
Mm.
you might have, but you know that at the time that it was made with integrity.
Right.
And I guess also I tell myself to trust what we were just talking about in terms of, I guess simply that if I was going through stages of like writer's block or not being able to create what I wanted,
Yeah.
Just to trust that there was stuff going on and not force it. And you know, I became, and again still am in some ways, like you know, really going into the details of things too much, and just sort of sometimes just being chill with throwing caution to the wind. And I wish I'd had a bit more confidence, you know. And I think that's what's so amazing again about Young Women's, is that that's what it is about from like the start. Like it's not just like the surface level stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that. It's sort of taking that out of the equation, and concentrating on confidence and and experimenting and just feeling confident about what you're making without any of that from a young age. And I wish that I had, you know, experienced that. I in terms of like externally and in my environment and my childhood, I lived like the most privileged, and like I like grew up in a place called Henley, a really affluent area. My, you know, I had like my school was amazing. It wasn't a private school, but it was like a really, the music department was great. I was really nurtured there. I didn't have formal lessons. I was more kind of, but I was, you know, encouraged to get involved with like music projects and play with other people. And because of the fact that it was an affluent area, a lot of people at school had the opportunity to play music and had the instruments to play music. So I'm very aware of my upbringing and where I've come from, like upper echelons of privilege compared to a lot of people. I mean, I'm not saying like I wasn't like you know, private jets and no. I was in a place, an area full of opportunity.
Amazing.
And I think I always knew that I was really lucky about that. But I kind of pushed back from it in some ways in terms of like trying to carve my own path instead of too kind of regimented with it all. But in terms of what really did hold me back was my own sort of perception of myself, because I didn't fit in to that mold of sort of like traditional music, traditional achievements, traditional aesthetics and like social norms and stuff. I didn't, you know, I really wanted to just be myself in it, and I felt like if I was myself, lose out on opportunities and stuff. But compared to what so many young women go through, I recognise how easy I had it. I really do. And I think now I'm confident enough to say that, because I'll be honest, there was a time where I felt ashamed at how easy and I think that I am obligated to help people, and I should do that more. Like it's something that I constantly kind of check. And I'm not doing what I feel like is enough. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of, I'm not ashamed because that's the way it was. I was really, it was always just confidence in myself that held me back, I guess.
But I think your experience is not, it's absolutely valid, and the fact that you are able to recognize that you were privileged, to me, I would see that as actually, as a young woman who wants to pursue music, there are possibilities out there. It is possible, to have access to these resources or these opportunities as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, like, just sharing the fact that there is an opportunity for people to, you know, have the access to this. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much.
I think a lot of the stuff, it wasn't like my family was in a position to sort of, send me off to music camp or give me private lessons on every
Right.
instrument or anything. I was just in an area where there
Yeah.
were free things to get
Yeah.
involved with and learn from. So it was a lot of it was a geographical thing.
Yeah.
But it's not, and it's in Oxfordshire. It's on the other side of Oxfordshire.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as saying like, oh, we'll just go to that like posh town down there.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
A lot of it is like a lot of the it's very unrealistic, and there's a very sort of closed-minded view in some of those places. I'm not trying to generalize, but
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's not just about you can go to a room or you can use an instrument.
Yeah.
It's about what a much more valuable thing
Mm-hmm.
is to have an open-minded place to be. Even if you
Right.
walk into a room and like what you guys do, like talk about music. You
Yeah.
like have those conversations.
Yeah.
Open up, no judgment, just I like this and just explore that.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have to hold an instrument. You don't even have to like feel like you have to learn a scale or anything.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
One word.
Yes.
Focus.
Well, quarantine.
Too much. That's 2 words. Sorry.
I love it. I love it.
Can I change my answer already, please?
Yeah. Elaborate. Give us a bit more.
I knew what I wanted to say, but I couldn't think of the word, and it was stifling. That's what I was thinking.
Wow. And will we hear some of that in this Friday's performance?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just felt like I really like being on my own.
Yeah.
And when you have a baby, oh God, they're there all the time. Like they never catch you a break. They're not here now, but
Yeah.
like, and so that times like a slap quarantine on that.
Yeah.
Oh, so I did write a lot about that.
Amazing. Well, we're looking forward to hearing it, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your free time and having this conversation with us. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. You guys do great things, so I feel very lucky to be involved in a small way.
No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that concludes our Get to Know Artist. Check us out this Friday. Head over to our website for the link to the concert, and share with friends and family, and hopefully see you there.